Hello, my name is Lee Short, and I'm your Grand Historian for the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of North Carolina for the 2025 year. It's been quite an honor and a privilege to serve at this level and at this capacity. It's something I never thought I would have the opportunity to experience. Got my start in Masonry 2003. I joined a small lodge in which my great-grandfather and both of my grandfathers belonged to. My great-grandfather was an immigrant, came from Lithuania, immigrated through Baltimore. He worked out of a covered wagon, as did most of the Jews at that time. They would all load up supply in Baltimore, and they all had their routes. And somehow or another, he ended up in a small town in North Carolina known as St. Paul's. We're right off exit 31 and 33 of I-95. And he got his start there. Something spoke to him. And he stayed there and made a life there. He went to lodge, and lived on the same block, if you can believe that. I got my start in Masonry after seeing various pictures of my grandfather and great-grandfather, and they were wearing a Masonic ring. And I noticed my manager that I worked for the family business had the same ring on. And so, much to my surprise, no one in my family had the conversation with me about what Masonry was. You know, all of my parents and aunts and uncles being raised by Masons, but it took me having that conversation with my manager at the time, who was Joe Barnhill, who was one of my Masonic mentors growing up. But Joe's the one that brought me to lodge and got me interested, and 21 years later, here I am. I had family members serve in the shrine, in the Scottish Rite. A few members were past masters of the lodge, but nobody really jumped in, I guess, like I jumped in. So I said I kind of just jumped in like a high diver, and Masonry was fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I've traveled all throughout our great state, and I look forward to traveling a lot this year. I had never traveled outside my little lodge of St. Paul's, not outside my district rather, for probably my first 7 or 8 years in Masonry, and I was kind of sad. And then I moved to Fayetteville, and I started to visit some various lodges, among which were Phoenix Lodge No. 8 and Lebanon Lodge 391. I became a member of Phoenix pretty soon after. During my time as District Deputy Grand Lecturer, Lebanon Lodge 391 honored me with an honorary membership. And then I think 2 years ago, I decided to apply for full membership and was accepted. So I'm a member of 3 different lodges: Phoenix No. 8, Lebanon 391, and St. Paul's 474. And it's just been a wonderful experience. They're all very different lodges, and I think it's great because it exemplifies the different kind of things bigger and smaller lodges can kind of bring, and the different personalities. And I think that's what makes us great, is we have that common bond of fraternalism, but yet we're different in our geographical locations, as well as what the people do for a living in those bigger and small towns. My great-grandfather was naturalized by a farmer and a lawyer in 1917 in the District Court of Wilmington. So both those men were past masters and members of his lodge. So I imagine he just grabbed them up, jumped on the train, and went down there, and that was beautiful. I really hadn't brought too many brothers into Masonry, but the few I have been phenomenal. Initiated a good friend of mine, Jonathan Prophet, who's actually my financial advisor. I make the joke his last name's Prophet. He grew up poor, and now he helps Masons and others manage their money well through Edward Jones. But Jonathan's a great guy. I got to confer his degrees, serve on his investigation committee, and that was really, really awesome. I've always enjoyed degree work and fundraisers. That's kind of what speaks to me in Freemasonry. I think everybody kind of has their niche, and as long as we can exploit that and utilize brothers for the resources they have. I really enjoy doing ritual. I'm a past District Deputy Grand Lecturer of 7 years. I was only a certified lecturer about a year before I was able to jump into that role, and that was a very eye-opening role. The ritual means the world to me. It's what separates us from every other Masonic organization on the planet. It brings us closer to our Heavenly Father, it brings us closer to our sisters and brothers that we have through not even the Blue Lodge, but also our appendant bodies, our York Rite, Scottish Rite, Shrine, Eastern Star, Amaranth, Rainbow Girls, Demo Lay. It just kind of brings the whole Masonic family together.